there. Is AI going to replace us as software engineers? Is that a question of if, or is it just a question of when? As we see things progress, this is a very interesting topic for two reasons. One is I run a software company in the DC metro area, and we build a lot of products. We have a lot of products and we that we have in production, whether it's B2B or B2C, and I'll add the link here so you can check that out. If you forget everything else I mentioned here, don't forget products.snowpal.com. Go check out our products and see how you can work with us to make your lives better and to be more successful. Apologies, not too far from an airport here. So I was trying to show you the plane there, but I did a great job. Yeah, so apologies for the wind noise and for the plane noises. So there was a recent video which I believe has gone fairly viral. I believe it was the Anthropic founder, one of the founders, who mentioned that I'm paraphrasing what he said there. That at the time, as of the time of this recording, which is March 2025, that in 6 to 9 months from now, no, not 6 to 9. Let me take it back. In 3 to 6 months from now, which is like what, April, May, either June or by the end of this year, 90% of AI can do 90% of the work that software engineers are doing, which is primarily development. So AI can do 90% of the development work in 3 to 6 months from the time of this recording, which is not even the end of the year actually, right? It's June, or was it like September, right? Sometime around somewhere around there. That's the first thing that he mentioned. Second is, I believe he said maybe 9 months to a year. Again, you can look up that video. So I'm just trying to recall what he said roughly. Within a year, perhaps sooner, uh, it can do 100% of what a software developer can do. That's what the Anthropic founder, one of the founders, said. And he's not the first one to have said that, I think. A lot of people have alluded to it or actually have said it. I think Jensen Huang, the NVIDIA CEO, had said some time ago that coding is not the skill that you perhaps want to learn. Again, I'm paraphrasing all of these wonderfully, brilliantly good, cool, accomplished people. So just take that with a grain of salt. But at least hopefully I don't lose the essence of what they try to say there. So there is a fair bit of anxiety, understandably so. For a long while, computers and automation and all of those things took away, or I should say, went after blue collar jobs to a large extent, at least from what I can tell. So folks who are not in the business, who were white collar workers, felt like they were all right. They were not going to be impacted by this. Uh, Software engineering, software development is a white collar job, right? And I love that. I mean, personally, that's all I've been doing personally and professionally all my life, and that's what our company does. We keep changing what we do, and we keep expanding our product suite. But that's what we do. That's at the foundation of the core of us. We are software engineers, so this topic is very dear and near, right? It makes it is very important, as you can tell. Um, so what I want to talk about, the likelihood of such a thing happening. Share my 2 cents. So what if you're not this co-founder of Anthropic or the CEO of NVIDIA, right? Didn't all of them start the company? They were small, they worked hard, and then they grew. We are right there, right? We've again, our company is many years old at this point. We have plenty of products in production and services as well. So we're not new by any stretch of the imagination, but surely we're not one of them, not yet at least, right? But it's all right. I think it's all right to have an opinion and share it and then see what, you know, at least share your 2 cents and hopefully it adds some value to somebody out there. At least that's the hope and that's the intent. Uh, I want to talk about, and apologies for, I just noticed that probably there's a coffee stain on my shirt. This is terrible, but I'm sorry about that. So I think it's very interesting and important. And I know a lot of engineers, developers, and companies are curious to know. All right, nobody knows the answer exactly, so some of it is speculation. Even if it's coming from people who've actually proven their worth more than some of us, at least at this point, right? But it's still speculation. I want to say to a large extent because it hasn't happened yet. So it is an important. It is an important topic, and one of the many things we do at Snowpal is podcasting. For many reasons. One is to share the little that we do know about engineering, so other people can benefit from it. But we also touch upon, occasionally delve into topics that are outside the realm of engineering, but something like finance and stocks because we are interested in that. But I eventually end up building products around a lot of these things that we actually talk about. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having these conversations, because we find it interesting and we find problems and we try to solve those problems by building our own products. So my hope is to collaborate with some of you out there to get your thoughts, have you hop on the podcast and have an interesting conversation about this, a dialogue about this. You could be a product manager, you could be a developer, you could be an architect, you could be a tester, you could be a product owner, you could be a salesperson, you could be in marketing, or you could be a content creator, you could be a DevOps engineer, you could be someone who's in cybersecurity. You could be, a founder who does a number of these things at the same time. It honestly doesn't matter. If you feel like this topic is of interest to you and it makes a difference to you, your team, and your organization, let me know. We can find a way to get you on the podcast and talk more about it. While we do that, I also want to share my thoughts as we go. So, this first video, this podcast, I want to just sort of skim the surface. I don't know if I'll reach a conclusion, and even if I ever do, whether it's in this video or a different video, I don't think it's going to be etched in stone because it's a moving platform. Things are changing all the time, much faster than ever before. Things have always changed in software. It's never been slow, at least not that I've been subject to. Right, it's always been fast, but things are changing even faster at a tremendous pace right now, which is good reason for anxiety, right? I mean, depending on where you are, what your interest is, which phase of your career you're in at a given point of time, you might be reacting to all of this differently. So I would love to get your perspective, but I also want to share my perspective in these videos. This is the first one. It's already 6 minutes in, so I don't know if I'm going to really share anything specific here, at least related to this topic. But let me leave you with a few thoughts at least. Um, I started this video with a question, with a paired question, which was, is is AI going to replace us as software engineers? Right? Is it a question of, is it going to do it, or if it's going to do it, or is the question really, when is that going to happen? Right? That's a second question, which is mutually exclusive, I guess, from the first one, or very different from the first one, even though it's related. I said related, different, mutually exclusive, a bunch of random words there, but I hopefully got the point there. Let me just wait for this plate to tell us. Sorry. Yep. So there's a broad spectrum. Is it going to replace this at all? Or is it, sure, it's going to do it, but when is it going to do it? But there's a number of things in between, right? Maybe before, outside of the spectrum and even within the spectrum. To what extent is that going to do it? Is it 100% like the Anthropic founder said? Or is it going to be like 80%? Or if it is 100%, what does it mean to us? What do we all end up doing? Should we all be looking for a different career? Should we change our skills so we still stay doing what we're doing, but we do things that are very different from what we might actually be doing today? What are the things that are more likely to be automated in the near future, in the near term, short term, and long term? How does that coincide with your interests? Now, if things can change quite a bit and dramatically, as we've spoken to here, but whatever it's changing to, what if that's not your interest? What if your heart doesn't beat for that? What if you like to do what you actually enjoy doing? Sure, we all need to make a living, but you also want to do what you want to do to some extent, at least. That's a luxury, and we've got to be blessed. But I think otherwise, life tends to lose its purpose, if you ask me. So you're gonna have to find that sweet spot. You have to first understand what can potentially happen, where you are at in your career. Are you just getting started? I've been doing this for 2 decades, like someone like myself, or you've done it for 4 to 5 decades and you're kind of getting ready to retire. So the impact that it is going to have on each of these three categories of people is going to be very, very remarkably different. And how each of us is going to react to it, depending on where we are at in our career, like I said before, what our interest happens to be, where we are located as well. Because one would think where you're located should make no difference, whether you're in the US, you're in Europe, in India, in Africa, in South America, or in South Asia, Southeast Asia, or in Australia, down under. The impact that AI is going to have is going to be it is going to be pretty global. But that being said, things are different. The government policies are different. The culture is different between the various nations in the world. So the impact is not going to be uniform. I don't think so. The pace at which it's going to happen and who it's going to impact and in what sequence and order is actually going to be quite dependent on, driven by, I think, policies, government policies, the socio-economic conditions of a particular nation, and a number of other factors, right? The demographics as well. The population in India is a whole lot younger than the rest of the world. I think the average age is like 26 or 28 or something along those lines. There are like 700 million people in India who are actually around that age, which is a whole lot more than the populations of a number of other countries even put together. So all of this is going to have a say in the type of impact and the implications of whatever is going to happen. Now, you hopefully get the essence of why I need to actually collaborate. It's not so much it's a nice to have. It's actually a must have that I have to get the perspective from folks who are, playing different roles in a company, in a software company, and located in different parts of the world. So we can sort of come up with we can try to draw to a conclusion. As correct or incorrect as it might be, at least we'll have enough data and we would have had enough learnings along the way to sort of draw a conclusion of some sort. So if this kind of piques your interest, let me know. If it doesn't, no worries. Maybe you're interested in at least learning and watching what's happening. So definitely do follow us on follow our podcast. You can do it on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube, or a number of other places. Just go to products.snowpal.com and follow us there, and you can check out all our products and services. That's about it. I'm just gonna walk back home. It's getting a little bit colder, but it's still beautiful. If you're out in the east of the U.S., I'm pretty sure you're enjoying a great sunny day as well. At least most of I don't know, but the rest of the country, at least the eastern part of the country, weather seems to be changing for the better. Um, until next time, thank you.